around and shucking and jiving. That baby has a mohawk. See, there's another one. There's another baby Bjorn right there. I see it. I knew I wasn't going crazy.
Soccer fans, good evening and welcome to Salt Lake City, Utah. Sandy, Utah to be exact, in Rio Tinto Stadium. USL Soccer on a Thursday night. It's the home side, the Real Monarchs, and Reno 1868 FC. We welcome you into Rio Tinto Stadium. I'm Bill Riley, joined tonight by Landon Southwick and Carla Haslam as we're here tonight for a little Thursday night soccer USL style. And for the home side tonight, it's been a much better start to 2017 than 2016. And I've got to say, off to a terrific start, Landon.
They've looked well. well so far. They played last week on Saturday with a 2-0 victory here at the Riot and a 2-1 victory up in Portland. So they've played well so far. It's early in the season. Coaching changes included for this side, with Briggs taking over for Petke as that adjustment happened. So it's been a little bit of a up and down so far, but they've been playing well so far in the field.
Carlo, when you consider the upheaval, now it's upheaval to a point. Your head coach is slid over to the senior club, and that's Mike Petke, but Briggs is not an unknown commodity to these players.
No, definitely. And when the players already recognize, who's in the team and who's going to be working with them, it makes the transition much easier, especially with new players and the new formation that's being played this year.
All right, much more on this match coming up momentarily. Let's go to the field and our national anthem.
Early light, what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. In the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Whoa, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you.
National anthem tonight here in Salt Lake City by Jenna Farner. Nicely done on an overcast night with temperatures very spring-like here in Salt Lake City. That may change by Saturday when Real Salt Lake hosts the Vancouver Whitecaps. But all in all, a nice night for soccer here at Rio Tinto Stadium. 71 degrees and overcast at kickoff. Let's get to our starting lineups here tonight. And I guess we'll start with the visitors from Reno, Carla, as you take a look at their squad. A little bit different. They've been dealing with some injuries, juggling the lineup just a little bit. What do we have?
Yeah, we have Matt Bersano in goal, Colby Griffiths, and Silva and Thomas are going to be holding that back line. Rasa, Von Niedersen, Ewell, and Burgos are going to be holding it up in the midfield. And Pridham, the USL experience, is going to be holding them up top with Hopeno.
On the other side, Mark Briggs' team comes in off a weekend win against Phoenix Rising. Landon, you saw that one here at Rio Tinto Stadium. Give me an idea of what Mr. Briggs is going to be tracking at tonight.
They're going to line up the exact same way they did Saturday. Fernandez in goal along the back line. Starting from the left side, they're going to have Lakawecki, Orozco, Boberg, and Karinga. In the midfield, they're going to have Beasler and Adams pulling the strings and sitting in a little bit. Velasquez will be right in front of them, and out wide will be Minter and Brody, with Hoffman sitting up top.
Well, some familiar names for Monarchs fans, including Lalo Fernandez, Orozco, Lakawecki, back at it again. Brody and Velasquez is obviously a holdover from his days with Real Salt Lake, but some new faces. A familiar name in the midfield in Beasler, his brother Matt, of course, a famous player with Sporting Kansas City, and of course U.S. men's national team. Nick tried to make his name here. Adams, Minter, and of course Hoffman, who's one of the veteran guys on this team, drafted by the drafted out of UCLA by Philadelphia. Then he went to LA, got himself an MLS Cup as a reserve, and then Houston as well last year playing in Louisville. So we'll see what Hoffman can do up top here tonight. But really a good start. And if you're an RSL fan or a Monarchs fan and you look at this Real team, 2 wins right out of the gate, 6 points to begin the season, a very welcome change to what had been some slow starts the last couple of years.
And I think the difference there, Bill, is the experience. There's a few guys out on this field tonight that haven't just entered into the professional arena. Nick Beasler is being one of them. Velasquez, like we talked about, and Hoffman. There's guys that bring in that experience and are allowing the team to be a little more composed early on in the season.
Well, and Carla, too, it's playing time together. They had a full camp together, but still not a lot of matches under their belt. So to get 2 wins in your first 2 matches, it's a good start.
No, it's definitely a great way to start the season, and confidence is everything, especially with a team that's so new. A lot of these players have played together, but in different areas. A lot of them played in college together. And so to be able to have confidence entering the season in this new stage is critical. And it'll be interesting to see how Reno responds, having not done so well in their first 2 matches.
Well, they'll try to get their first 3 points of the season. We're underway tonight here in Salt Lake City at Rio Tinto Stadium. Great to have you along on local radio in Salt Lake City, ESPN 700 radio, and of course all along the interweb, if you will, on YouTube, on the USL YouTube channel. Moving right to left across your television screen, your computer screen, or your radio dial is Reno. They're in the blue tonight. The home side will be in white, moving left to right across your screen or dial. Bersano out of the back, plays it long and high and through the middle. Battle at the halfway line, won there by La Grassa. Beasler chasing, wearing the captain's armband tonight for Coach Briggs. Near sideline. And Jigian. Left-footed switch out wide. Nodded forward. Inbounds up the far sideline. Good slide on that far sideline by Lakawecki. It'll be a throw-in for Reno. Monarchs 2-0 winners on the weekend here in Salt Lake City. Draw over the weekend for this Reno side. Throw in Monarchs.
One of the issues Saturday, Bill, was the Monarchs slowly found themselves in the game. It was a struggle early on to figure out the field and the width of this field. Coach Briggs talked about that early on. They didn't come in with that energy, and they found themselves after about 20 minutes. So look for them tonight to see if they can increase that pressure early on and find themselves.
Hoffman giving chase up top. There's a giveaway in the midfield. Minter's got it. And the Monarchs can't keep it in far sideline. It'll be a throw in now for Reno. Monarchs are affiliated very closely. Obviously, they're the minor league squad of Real Salt Lake. This Reno club is a standalone, so you've got kind of 2 different clubs with 2 different purposes. Reno with a little bit more senior, a little bit more veteran lineup and roster, where this is a developmental squad with a little bit of veteran presence for the Real Monarchs. Halfway line, ball played back. Roscoe gives chase and plays it all the way back to Lalo Fernandez, who got himself a clean sheet on the weekend. Lalo, a 6-year veteran now of both the USL and of Major League Soccer with Real Salt Lake. Ball held in below by the Monarchs, sent back across midfield, through midfield, and all the way back. Fernandez will come out of his area and tap it forward through the center circle. Brody, one of the veterans of this Monarchs team from a year ago. Couple of goals for Andrew Brody a year ago. Plays that ball out wide. Lakawecki getting forward. Plays a touch and then back to Orozco. Switch to near side. Moberg scored in the opener against Portland on a header. Plays it back to Orozco.
Both teams right now trying to develop some sort of rhythm. The Monarchs trying to go forward in the first couple minutes of the game, realizing that the space is getting closed quickly now, trying to build more out of the back in hopes of developing that rhythm, getting that confidence we talked about earlier, Bill.
24-year-old Lalo Fernandez up ahead to Orozco. Couple of touches, runs by his man through the center circle now. Leaves it here for Sebastian Velasquez. One-time RSL man, one-time NYCFC man, now back in the USL.
From all sides, he looks like he's excited to be back in Salt Lake City. His family's here. He's got experience here at the Riot and looked like he's played well so far in the season.
Well, you're talking about a guy that's still young enough. He's only 26 years old and a very dangerous and creative player on the ball when he's in his game and on his form. Here's a ball out of bounds, touched last by the Monarchs. It'll be a deep throw in for Reno 1868.
He's gotten rid of the rat tail, though.
Well, that's just, I think, a sign of maturity. He's 26 and not 23 anymore.
He's ready for bigger things now.
Yes.
No more Rufio comments anymore?
I don't think so. Colombian by birth, raised partially the South American country and partially here. Here's a ball over the top. Good look that time, trying to find Prudhomme. Instead, back to Fernandez. Minute 6 and scoreless here at Rio Tinto Stadium. Bill Riley, Landon Southwick, and Carla Haslam. Last time I did a broadcast, she was just simply Carla Swenson. Now she's added that last name.
It's been a while, Bill.
I know.
It's been a while.
It's been since last season. We're still early in the year.
No, but it feels good to be back here at the Riot.
There's an aggressive play in the midfield. A lot of ball that time, but a lot of the man, too. And our referee's going to sort things out down below.
You'd hope in a situation like this early on in the game that he would keep the cards in the pocket. You lose a lot of control as a referee when you show a card early. It shows players on the field that the game isn't going to be called how he sees it. It's going to be called a little more tight.
Take a look at the replay on this, and you can see it. Karinga comes in hard with the challenge, loses the touch. And then comes in, yeah, well, he showed the tip of the toe there. He didn't show the full foot, but he showed the tip of the studs, and he's very lucky not to go in the book. By letter of the law, if you wanted to enforce that, that was very much a card-worthy challenge. But what we'll get is a lecture, a stern warning, and very little leeway probably moving forward here for Karinga. Free kick, Reno. Niederhauser, the captain, know the worse for wear. He'll walk it off just a bit. Long ball, not any real direction of anybody, say Jan Jigian. And a throw in down below for the Monarchs. Karinga with a long ball. Taken down by Salt Lake. Minter. Ball played wide. Ball in, sent back out again. Nicely done by Griffiths. Minter giving battle. Reno away. Good step by Orozco, and what do we have? A little foul from behind.
Looks like he played
a little bit of a delay. Yeah, a little bit of a delayed whistle there by a referee tonight.
A good call as Minter was trying to catch up. I think he had a little jersey there. We'll get a look at the replay on that one. I don't know that I see much there, but the tightness of the replay may be the reason there. But
that's quite a delayed whistle on the advantage played. 8th minute, still 0-0. Griffiths plays it forward, halfway line and beyond his man and out of bounds. Monarchs will throw in far sideline.
Monarchs doing an excellent job of pushing Reno out wide. Anytime Reno's tried to go down the middle, easily has been dispossessed, and then forcing him out wide, making that sideline another defender. They haven't had very many looks just running down that end line.
Halfway line and played back. Orozco will chase it. He'll have a little company as he plays it across to Lalo Fernandez. We'll play it over here to Karinga.
You know, Bill, and we were talking about players that have matured, and I think Lalo Fernandez is an excellent example of that, coming in his first year in the Monarchs from their very first season. And since then, he's just improved greatly. He plays a lot more smart.
High and long and over the head and out for a goal kick here for Reno. He's been loaned out a few times as well. He's gotten a little bit more, as you said, seasoning and experience. And it's strange if you're a fan of Real Salt Lake to see it, but he's only 24 years old. It feels like Lalo's been around since the inception of the senior club, but he's only 24 years old. He came into the Real system, into the academy system at about age 17 or 18. So Still a lot of room for development. They like his chances here this year with the Monarchs.
And the interesting thing is on both sides, both keepers actually came from the RSL Academy in Arizona. So kind of a weird twist of fate to see both keepers from the Academy.
Well, whether the RSL Academy or senior club, Real Salt Lake's always had a pretty good history with keepers. All held in by Reno. Sent back the other way by Orozco. Battle in the midfield, Niederhauser. Now falls to the feet of Velasquez. Sebastian plays it back. Syringa with a touch. Moberg all the way back to his keeper. Minute 10, still 0-0. Lakawecki getting forward out of that left back position. Plays it back to Orozco. At times, it will look very much like the Monarchs are playing 2, sometimes 3 in the back because their outside backs get forward so very much, especially Lakawecki.
And you know, Karinga's a new commodity on this squad, and he's a guy that plays similar to Lakawecki, just on the opposite side with that right foot instead of the left.
Here counter. Need numbers, and here they come. Burgos. Nobody there. Goal kick, Fernandez. Senior club will be home on Saturday here at Rio Tinto Stadium. Real Salt Lake will be here. Weather may be a little bit different than what we see tonight. Be a 7:30 start time in Salt Lake City, Mountain Time. Real Salt Lake still in pursuit of its first win of the season. It will be the first game for the man that used to be the head coach of these Monarchs, Mike Petke. Mike out of observation mode and into coaching mode for Real Salt Lake this week.
He has a 1-0 record with the Monarchs. I think he's the winningest coach in history.
100% wins for the Monarchs under Mike Petke.
There may not be anybody else that will match that record all time. That foul goes against Reno. Karinga will put it back in play. 12th minute. Plays it short to Velasquez. Couple of touches by Beasler. Plays it to Orozco, and they'll work it up the far sideline. Through ball, Adams onto it. Knocked out of bounds. Ooh, they're going to say touch last by Adams. That will be a throw-in for Reno. Must have caught a portion of his leg right there. Here's the shot. Easily scooped up by Bersano. Well, fans, make sure you tune into the USL's weekly show on Sirius XM FC, Channel 85. It's Mondays at 9 p.m. Eastern for the latest news and information from around the league. And don't forget, Sirius XM will air the USL Game of the Week. Please check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. Monarchs to throw in far sideline. Scoreless match, minute 13. Karinga there, breaks it up. No stud shown this time.
Great win there by Adams.
Brody up the near sideline. Leaves it for Velasquez. Sebastian. Through ball, in. Hoffman around, in front, shot to goal! It's a goal for the Monarchs!
Wow, what a goal. And you know, that all started Andrew Brody getting the ball on the sideline and having the confidence to take a player on 1v1, set up that entire play right there. Just allowed for a through ball right past the goalie and into the back of the net.
That was a beautiful setup by Velasquez, and then Hoffman around the keeper, played it beautifully to the middle and slotted home back post.
By Minter, I believe. And Minter was named to the USL Team of the Week this last week. Had a great game last week, and we'll get another.
There's where it started with Velasquez. Hoffman rounds the keeper, and then Minter with the easy job of simply finishing on the back post. His second goal of the season. He scored against Portland in the opener, and the Monarchs have an early lead here in the 14th minute, 1-0. Out front, Reno. Left-footed ball, pinballs around, top of the box. Left-footed service in, sent back out again nicely there by Moberg. Yeah, Brody won that ball on the near sideline, but it was the slot through by Velasquez, and that's where you can see his quality and his touch.
And, you know, it wasn't even just that. He had the mindset to play into that space enough that it was weighted just in front of the keeper. The keeper came out, and give Hoffman all the credit in the world to take that slight touch to get away and then cut it back.
Well, again, that's where you see the veteran play of a guy like Hoffman, 26 years old. He's bounced around both Major League Soccer and the USL, but he was patient enough with it. He didn't try to take a one-time or try to make that pass early. He had enough confidence in himself to take that touch around the keeper and then play it across.
And expect to see that from Hoffman all season long. Talking to Coach Briggs before the last game, Briggs told us that if Hoffman could just find space in front of goal, he will score, and he will score in bunches.
It's a nice thought by Adams there, but a little too much mustard on it for Minter to get on the end. It'll be a throw-in far side here for Reno. Quarter hour gone by, 1-0 for the home side. Minter set up by Hoffman, and 1-0 Monarchs. Ball knotted out of bounds far side by Reno. Throw in. Real Monarchs. Lakawecki in. Prudhomme. Back to Griffiths. Cross to Bersano. Not to be confused with former RSL top pick Nick Basano. Two different guys. Two different games.
Very different guys.
Near sideline. Silva. Back to Bersano. Brody in the area, so he plays it out wide to Griffiths. Past the halfway line and played wide. Here comes Reno. Lakawecki gets back, defends well. Ball tapped forward, flag up. Easy call for the referee's assistant on the far side. As Prudhomme was in an offside spot by about 3 or 4 body lengths.
Monarchs doing a good job holding that line too. Sometimes it's tempting for some of these younger teams to drop back and call, you know, into that cup shape, but the Monarchs are being very diligent in keeping to that line even when there's pressure on them, keeping that pulling on that offsides trap.
Well, 3 of those 4 guys played along that back line together last year. Moberg was the late addition in August, but Orozco and Lakawecki have been here for a couple of seasons, and you can see that Karinga already feels pretty comfortable with that squad and back.
You know, there's a lot to be said for having a team 3 games in a row in the USL, the same team, especially with a team like Real Salt Lake above you where they're loaning down players. And tonight you didn't see any of those players make way into the 11. They're in the 18, but not in the 11. And Briggs has elected to have that continuity together.
Bersano in back. Takes a touch, no pressure, so he'll roll it around and direct traffic. 18th minute, 1-0 Real Monarchs. Center of the park. Junior Burgos. Now Silva, couple of touches, plays it back to his keeper. Lakawecki walks it across the halfway line. Leaves it for Adams. Back and too far wide for Lakawecki. It'll be a throw in for Reno. That was a needless giveaway. There's a soft foul against Minter. They get Hoffman. Big switch far to near. Ball over the top, but overhit. And Fernandez lets it trickle across the end line for a goal kick. 19th minute, 1-0 Monarchs. Bill Riley, Carla Haslam, Landon Southwick down there doing something. Checking the Opta-stats.
I'll be that guy, Bill. I'll be that guy.
Like all the heat maps, right? Like
checking.
What's going on the field.
Got a lot going on down there, Landon. No, but I'm letting the listeners behind the curtain for just a minute. 20th minute, Velasquez. Weighted ball over the top. Well, too much weight that time. Bersano out to the top of the box. Well, soccer fans, Nike's an official sponsor of the USL. For more information, you can visit them online, NikeSoccer.com. That's NikeSoccer.com. Fernandez ushers it out of bounds, 3 rows deep. Throw in near sideline here for Reno. It's early and Reno hasn't threatened much, but I'll say there's a little bit of a difference in Lalo Fernandez this year versus last year, at least for now. And there's a shove in the back and a foul against Nick Beasler. Apparently he's been given a warning now, no more. Take a look at the replay, but that wasn't too much.
Persistent infringement. You can see the 1, 2, 3, and you're done. No more leash on that rope for him.
But I don't remember much more from Nick Beasler so far tonight. But anyway, what I was going to say is I think Lalo Fernandez looks a little bit more confident in the pipes than he has in recent years. And that comes along with that experience Carla was talking about a little while ago.
Even just his body language is completely different than his very first year.
It's guys like him that have had that chance in the camp with Real Salt Lake in the preseason that really gives them opportunities to train all the time and be with that first team and see the professionalism of a guy like Nick Raimondo.
Junior Burgos down below will take this free kick, 30 yards out. Bending ball, has a go. Oh, man. He caught Fernandez leaning the other way and didn't miss it by much. It'll be a goal kick. Good look that time by Junior Burgos. I think the thought process, guys, was he's going to play that far post, and he had a go at the near post and didn't miss it by much.
From that distance, it would have been a wonder goal, Lionel Messi style goal.
Well, especially the curve on it too. It was a little too hard, but if you would have hit that curve perfectly into the upper 90, that would have made the highlight reel.
Syringa. Velasquez does a nice job keeping that in. Fights the defender off his back. Little love tap, couldn't keep the ball. Silva. UL. Back to Silva. 22nd minute. 1-0 Monarchs. Too much on it. Briggs has it. He'll hand it to his right back. And Syringa will put it back in play. Syringa played the last 2 seasons in Finland. And here comes Velasquez into the attack. Stops, hesitates, good defending and back by Ewell.
Really didn't have much there with
LaGrassa.
him. And that's why he cut back, and there was no one really making that run in.
Touch last out of bounds by the Monarchs. Reno throws in. Touch last by the Monarchs. They'll throw in again for Reno. Good flick there by Perdum. Burgos trying to get around Beasler. Nick holds his ground and plays it wide. Lakawecki. Stop and go. Gives it right back again. Silva now. A lot of green in front, plays it up the near sideline. Janjigian. Ewell loses it. Here comes a chance. Velasquez, top of the box. Sebastian around his man. Velasquez. Touch. Not enough. Well done by the keeper, Bersano, to break that up. And here comes Reno with a chance at a counter. RSL getting back defensively. Perdum. Back to Ewell. Great individual effort till the very end by Velasquez. Looked like he lost his footing on that end line, and the keeper got out and got a hand on it.
Yeah, you know, once you reach the end line, you try to get any sort of foot you can to try to pass it back onto the 6. And you can tell Velasquez was trying to do that. But, yeah, missed his footing a bit.
Into the box comes Reno. Played across the top, nobody there. Brody back to help out. Andrew up the near sideline. Touched out of bounds by Janjigian. It'll be a throw-in just across the halfway line for the Monarchs. Well, Brody's putting in some work tonight, getting up and down this near sideline, coming back and defending.
The Energizer Bunny, he is always on the go, and he's created a lot of opportunities. Saturday, he created the second goal for the Monarchs for wholeness, and really did all the work. And tonight, he was helped on that goal to set up Velasquez.
Well, and what's great about players like him and Lakawecki is they just cover so much ground. And usually players in those positions are more defensive-minded, but I love that they have the ability to go up and to become dangerous and to get into the attacking third.
The aforementioned Lakawecki plays a dangerous ball back. I think he thought Orozco was in a different position. And Prudhomme almost made him pay. Karinga. Centrally for Beasler. Makes the switch out wide. And too much. Into the L in Real Salt Lake. And a throw in far sideline for Reno. 26th minute, 1-0. Monarchs on the board on a Minter goal in the 14th minute. Set up by Hoffman on a pretty pass from Velasquez. Here's Silva. Left-footed line drive sent back the other way by Beasler. Here comes Velasquez. Sebastian, top of the box, has a go, and he has a goal. It's a goal on a left-footed rocket by Velasquez. And it's 2-0 Monarchs in the 26th minute.
A little salt on that one.
Little salt, little Cobra. I thought, little Cobra coming out of that celebration there. But great on Velasquez to read the ball. That's all just reading and anticipating. Good for him to be able to read where the ball's going to go and then to pounce and go right to goal one-on-one with the goalie.
Well, it was set up on the deflection line drive right to Velasquez, and he didn't mess around. Left-footed rocket right down the middle. Defense was late to get back. Sebastian made him pay. 2-0 Monarchs.
Took it from dribbling on the right foot, takes a touch there, puts it on his preferred left, and slots it home. It's got to be a great feeling to come back to Salt Lake City, Utah, and put one in the back of the net.
Seba began his professional soccer career here in this stadium in 2012. When he came out of a tiny little school in North Carolina where he scored a lot of goals. Jason Kreis liked him enough that after Jason went to NYCFC, he traded for him. Sebastian lasted there about a year or so. Went back to the USL, played in Oklahoma City a year ago, and now he's back where it all began. And you can tell he looks comfortable and looks happy, and he gets himself his first goal, opens that account for the first time this season.
When that team folded in OKC, he would, from what I understand, wanted to make his way back to Salt Lake. And that was his decision, worked on the contract situation, was willing to come back and play for the Monarchs. And so far this season, he's been playing great.
2-0 Monarchs, 28th minute. They've gotten 2 in their first 2 matches of the year. 2-1 in Portland in the opener, 2-0 last week. And they look very dialed in here tonight, maybe more than 2 in the offing. And here comes another run up that far sideline. Left-footed ball, punched out by the keeper. Good read by the keeper that time. Bersano not taking any chances. And a terrific left-footed ball up that far sideline. And I think that was Minter that had to go, maybe Adams. And punched out by Bersano. Roscoe rolls it back to Fernandez.
Already you can see a change in energy. You get 2 goals up, and it's like the entire dynamics of the game changed. It's completely different than it was in the first 10 minutes of the match.
Griffithson back. Looks to distribute. Plays it back across to Silva. Janjigian plays it back centrally now. Burgos over the top. Flag up. Opino in an offside position there. And a free kick coming for the Monarchs.
The Monarchs are going to have to keep their eye on Opino. While he's been called off sides twice, you can tell he's ready for any sort of through ball. They're going to have to stay ready on their feet because he's willing to get the ball at his feet and then turn or distribute back to one of his center midfielders.
Fernandez punches it out wide, and Orozco will walk it up. Pressure there and plays it back to his keeper. Played a half hour of soccer here in Salt Lake City tonight, and the home side up 2-0.
You can see the pressure paying off of the Monarchs. They're sitting a lot higher this season and pressing in those attacking places. And I think that's what, give credit to that for the goal of Sebastian Velasquez, sitting a little higher and applying pressure.
Too many touches by Orozco gives it back to Reno, but good defending coming back there. And the Monarchs win it back again. That long ball up the far sideline, just a little too far for Minter. And Reno wastes no time putting it back in play. Minter opened the scoring tonight on a beautiful setup by Hoffman. And Velasquez moments ago made it 2-0. That's where we stand here at Rio Tinto Stadium. Prudhomme. Rossa. Burgos. Janjigian. Defender in front. Ewell. Left-footed service, well defended, but out for our first corner of the night. Karinga got over there, but just a touch late, and it went off him out of bounds. We'll have our first corner kick coming tonight. Off the right foot of Junior Burgos, who had a pretty good look at a set piece a few minutes ago. Near side corner kick for Reno. And before the kick, whistle behind the play. Silva getting tangled up inside the 6 with Fernandez and Orozco.
You got to watch out for guys like Griffiths. Griffiths scored last week 6-2. A guy that's very capable of finding the back of the net.
Orozco coming together, and here's our free kick. In. Loose in front of the 6. Taken down, walked outside. Dangerous ball for a minute, and here's a chance for a counter. Velasquez up the near sideline. Brody running down the middle of the park. Velasquez. Step overs to Brody. Brody turns, shoots, and well defended out for a corner. Oh, the creativity of Sebastian Velasquez. Brody got a turn, but was well defended. Corner kick out.
You got to love Velasquez there, having the confidence to take a player one-on-one, finding Brody in a position he probably could have played. Brody probably could have played Velasquez back, but a nice opportunity for the Monarchs there.
Oh, and you could hear it in the crowd too. Loving that little bit of Colombian flair in there, right?
It's the Rufio. Bring back the rat tail.
Bring it back.
Adams with a left-footed in-swinger here from the near side corner. First corner tonight for the Monarchs. Adams back post. Header wide! Oh, goodness! A perfectly placed ball. And Karinga just couldn't put it away. What an outstanding look here. And Karinga's going to shoot himself for this one later. Goodness gracious.
I think everyone thought it was in. You could see everyone in the stands standing up. They started cheering. I threw my hands up in the air because I thought it was in. But those far post corners are deadly. I mean, they're so hard for the keeper to read. And then defensively, you're backpedaling. So it's so hard to get any sort of head on it.
But the accuracy of the ball from Adams was fantastic. You've got to get that ball and drive it, but also get it through all the traffic in front of you to get it there. Well done.
And they should expect that service from Adams. He served up 2 assists in Portland in their first game, and they were both off set pieces, off corners. Yeah. So he's a guy capable of serving quality balls in the box.
34th, still 2-0 Monarchs. Reno with possession. Halfway line. Ewell. Back to Griffiths. Up the far sideline. They'll build out of the back. Burgos coming deep to get it. Back to Griffiths. Center circle. Ewell past him. And another giveaway by Reno. Here comes Brody. Overlapping run. Into the box. Velasquez shot. Big save. But put away. And it's 3-0. Hoffman with the goal. Just cleaning up the mess. And in the 34th minute, the home side routing Reno 3-0.
What a great goal there by Hoffman. Velasquez first off, great opportunity. Tried to take it with the outside of the foot, bends it in, keeper parries it away, and Hoffman's standing there right there to tap in the garbage. I think it's called good karma. He served one up in the first part.
Well, it's being rewarded for chasing the play is what it is. Here's Velasquez, hits it with the outside of his foot. Persano does a good job to get his left hand to it, but nobody found the mark on Hoffman, and that's as easy a goal as Hoffman's going to find this year. Chandler gets it, and it's now 3-0.
Well, that's one of the advantages to Velasquez. He's such a flashy player, so all the defense attention goes to him, and that leaves Hoffman wide open for any sort of poaching type of goal.
Hoffman's second goal of the season, and a guy that, like I mentioned early on, he's going to be a goal scorer for this team.
Chandler's first came on a PK against Phoenix a week ago. Now he's got one in the run of play, and his team dominating right now.
Reno looks a little out of sorts in the midfield. That's where a lot of the issues have started. Brody and Velasquez doing work in the midfield so far and causing a lot of confusion.
Another giveaway. Velasquez has it back again. Karinga. Brody keeps it in. And there's a foul on Pridham. Nick Beasler got the worst of that. Nick will take his time and get a little breather here. 36th minute, 3-0. Wasn't a lot to this. Nick just kind of had his leg extended, and Pridham came through it. Moberg all the way back to Fernandez. Orozco wide. Knocks it forward with the left. Taken down, flipped over the top. Nicely done. Reno comes back to clean it up all the way back to their keeper, Persano. Silva back to the keeper. Getting a little bit later here in the first half. We'll have a highlight package of the weekend's action around USL coming up at halftime, and then a conversation with front office executive for both Real Salt Lake and the Monarchs, Rob Zarkos.
A guy that's been fundamental in putting this team together, and really you can tell the experience and the quality of this side compared to years past. Freddie did a phenomenal job of building this up from the start, and you're really starting to see a new era or a transition of that style of soccer.
Ball clipped in and over the top. One hops up into the waiting arms of Fernandez. In fact, Mike Petke, at his introductory press conference a week or so ago for Real Salt Lake, made very specific mention of Rob Zarkos and his assistance in helping build this club. Here's Beasler playing out of the back.
Not a bad idea there. Just hit it a little short.
If that hops past the defender, Minter's got it, and he's running on goal. Reno seems to be running out of ideas of how to get the ball out of their end right now, just kind of pinging it around. Here's a shot. UL switches back out wide, far sideline. Burgos Jr. with some touches, slots it ahead. Right-footed service in, headed high but not out by Orozco, and punched away by Fernandez. Reno keeps control. Burgos on it. Near sideline. Touch or two. Back to LaGrassa. Silva. UL couldn't beat Lakawecki. Tracked down by Minter. Griffiths stays with it, and into the attack comes Reno. Griffiths, right-footed service, back. Hoppino in front, shot to goal! It's a goal! Pridham in! And Reno pulls one back here in the 39th. Pretty pass and a setup. And Pridham didn't miss as he flicked it in with the head. It's 3-1.
You know, that all came from one of your defenders, Brent Griffiths, over there working hard on the right side, found the ball, was able to serve it into one of his teammates. And the Monarchs looked a little bit out of sorts on that back line. Moberg got caught out of position.
Well, it was a nice job with possession. I was starting to wonder if Reno was going to do anything with that possession. And then the Monarchs got it back, but didn't clear their end and gave it right back to Griffiths. And Griffiths, using his athleticism, got around the defender and in. Flag up near sideline on the Monarchs, offside.
No, you're right, Bill. Sometimes the best option when there's a lot of chaos and people are missing their marks is just to clear it out. You can restructure, reset again, and then prepare for their next attack.
So there won't be a clean sheet this week for Lalo Fernandez, but he's still got a 3-1 lead.
We always mention it in soccer. These next 5 minutes are vital. And I know that's a trite thing to say in a conversation in a soccer game, but these next 5 minutes will take us to the halftime break. So momentum is key, taking that into the locker room.
Well, yeah, and it's where Reno's going to get, any sort of motivation is if they can play these last 5 minutes well, it helps them go into the next half feeling confident and ready about the second part of the game.
Silva out of the back. Nicely done by Lakawecki. And you can see a little bit more confidence, a little more pep in the step right now for Reno. Another giveaway. There's a shove in the back on Orozco as he fouled Burgos. Orozco going to get it. The card's out. He's going to get booked here in the 41st.
That area of the field, it's not really necessary to put two hands in the back of a guy's back.
Understood.
And you're going to get carded in a situation like that. Really, momentum was moving forward for Reno, and to put your hands in the back like that and take a foul at midfield with no attacking options for him, a little bit of a silly yellow card.
I'll tell you that we've seen harsher challenges here in the first half, and I don't think Orozco's really been involved in much so far. That was about the first skirmish he'd been in, but either way, he goes into the book here in the 42nd, and a free kick just this side of midfield for Reno. Burgos with a line drive into the box. Falls at the feet of a Reno attacker. Back it comes. Left-footed drive right at Fernandez. Ewell had a good look at it, but didn't hit it quite hard enough, and Fernandez had a clean vision of it. And he knocks it down and scoops it right back up again.
You got to watch out for a guy like Ewell. He was a guy that was drafted 6th in the Super Draft this season out of UCLA, a guy that's very capable of pulling the strings.
Monarchs back on the attack. Left-footed ball takes a deflection off a defender and out, and that's going to be a corner kick. Second corner of the half coming here for the Real Monarchs. Bill Riley, Carla Haslam, Landon Southwick with you here tonight at Rio Tinto Stadium, Salt Lake City. Home of the Monarchs and home of Real Salt Lake of Major League Soccer. Home side up 3-1 in the 43rd, and a corner kick coming. Charlie Adams will take it again. He had great service on the last corner. Driven ball toward the top of the 6. Header in! It's a goal!
That corner kick was amazing.
Karinga finds the back of the net. He shot it wide last time. This time he didn't miss, and it's 4-1 Monarchs.
He was kicking himself on that last corner, found himself in space right at the top of the area, and put that away with authority.
Oh, but Adams and Karinga working together like that.
I was about to say, you think they might have practiced that once or twice or maybe 100 times in training?
Oh, man.
You don't just happen on to back-to-back set pieces like that, do you?
No, good work. The service, excellent. Just like the last corners. Service, excellent, and then Karinga, just way to step in and get his head in there.
That one was driven, but not quite like the last one. That one had just enough float to it that Karinga was able to go up. Somebody lost their mark right in the middle of the area. And the keeper really had no shot at that. Well done. Great finish by Karinga.
Yeah.
4-1 Monarchs. Boy, you talked about Reno trying to take momentum into the locker room. Well, I think it was just seized back by the home side. LaGrassa. Back out front, a go from distance, and the captain, Niederhauser, came together that time with Adams, and Fernandez saved it easy.
You know, the interesting thing is Adams now leads the league in assists. I know we're early on, 3 games in, 3 assists, 2 in Portland and 1 tonight. He's a guy and they're all off corner kicks.
Ball back to the keeper, Bersano. Now, set pieces are such a big part of this game, and if you can be successful on set pieces, you're going to win a lot more than you're going to lose or draw in any league.
Oh, definitely. Well, and Adams has a skill. I say every corner, have him and play it right to the same spot. Play it to Karinga.
'45th minute, 4-1 Monarchs. Niederhauser now wide. Ewell. Overlapping run, doesn't use it. LaGrassa. Tried to slot it in where there was no space. Velasquez away with it. Sebastian beats 1 and 2, but not the third defender. Back to Silva. One minute of added time here at Rio Tinto Stadium. Which is just a little surprising with 5 goals and a yellow. I don't think anybody on the Monarchs bench is complaining, though. Karinga, who's got the last goal, plays it and gets it back again near sideline. Service back to Bersano.
I think Karinga was trying to hit that just into that light space to Hoffman. Really caught a lot of that ball. More like his pitching wedge right there. Masters week.
But you can see him trying to get the backspin on it, right? Trying to let it float so it can land nicely at the left foot.
And there's the whistle telling us that 45 minutes of soccer has been played here at Rio Tinto Stadium. And I'll tell you what, I've done a few games over the last few years. I know you guys have too. This is about as good a half of soccer as I can remember the Monarchs in 3 years playing.
No, definitely. You can see it coming off the field. They're giving each other's high fives. They're getting motivated for the next half. This is a body language that we don't typically see.
Well, this is a team that has now found its form. 2 goals in the first match, 2 goals in the second match, and 4 here tonight so far, and they lead it 4-1 at the half.
But that being said, there's a lot of potent attack on Reno's bench, capable of coming off. The change this last year in the USL from 5 subs to the international standard of 3 subs. So not an opportunity to completely change your starting 11, but still an opportunity. So watch out for this next 45.
This team is still young enough in its development. There's no reason to think about even taking your foot off the gas pedal at this point in time. 4-1 here at the end of 45 minutes at Rio Tinto Stadium in Salt Lake City. Coming up, we'll have a conversation with front office man Rob Sarkos. But first, a little look back at the past weekend. We'll be back to Rio Tinto Stadium after this.
We've raised the stakes. Expectations are high. Our biggest season yet will break records with elite players and future stars, innovative technology, and new homes. We're growing the game in our communities and across the nation. Are you ready?
As we go into week 3 play, let's take a look back at week 2 of the USL season. Set up by Nonso Selbel, Carlton Belmar notched his 2nd goal in as many games to secure the 1-0 win for Swope Park Rangers against his former team, Portland Timbers 2. Louisville City converted on 3 of their 8 shots on target to take the win over Orlando City B 3-1, with Orlando's only goal coming off an own goal before half. Louisville came out strong in the second half and were able to put the game away with goals from George Davis IV and Luke Spencer. The Rochester Rhinos jumped out to a 2-goal lead, but in extra time before half, Bethlehem Steel cut the lead to 1 thanks to a Charlie Davies PK. Coming in off the bench, Johan Graf was able to seal the 3-2 win in the final 2 minutes for Rochester. New York Red Bulls 2 played strong defense, shutting out the Richmond Kickers 1-0 in their inaugural game at MSU Soccer Park. Zico Lewis found the back of the net in the 69th minute for the Red Bulls. Andrew Wiedemann and GB led FC Cincinnati to the 1-0 win in Pittsburgh, as GB notched his second goal in as many games. The Riverhounds played most of the game with 10 men after Gale Agbasumude received his second yellow of the game in the 42nd minute. Phoenix Rising struggled to combine in the attacking half as the Real Monarchs took the 2-0 win at home, winning their second game in a row as Phoenix fell to 0-2 to start the season. 0-0 at half, the Charlotte Independents controlled 62% of the game's possession, but the Charleston Battery put 2 away within 7 minutes to top Charlotte 2-0 in the Southern Derby. 2 home games, 2 wins for the Tampa Bay Rowdies to open their USL slate. Michael Nanchoff led the team with 2 assists as he set up Damian Lowe and Georgi Ristoff early in the first half for the first 2 goals of the game, as the Rowdies handled Toronto FC 4-0. Oklahoma City Energy FC took to the road for the second week in a row as they faced off with the Colorado Springs Switchbacks in snowy conditions. The game ended in a 1-1 draw with first-half goals for both sides as neither team was able to find the difference maker in the second half. Tulsa earned their second win of the season and handed RGV their second loss as Joey Calistri found the back of the net for Tulsa in the 31st minute. A sellout crowd of 5,566 watched St. Louis earn their first win of the season, a 3-2 victory over Ottawa Fury FC, thanks to an own goal deflection in the 88th minute. Billy Forbes led his team for the second week in a row, this week a goal and an assist in a 3-0 win over LA Galaxy 2. Rafael Castillo notched a goal for himself off Forbes' assist as San Antonio starts their 2017 season 2-0. Brennan Griffiths will be the name remembered for Reno 1868's first goal in the history of the club, but neither Reno nor Vancouver Whitecaps 2 could completely pull away as the game ended in a 1-1 draw. Wilson Nishan Sammy Ochoa led the charge as Sacramento Republic FC delighted a sellout crowd of 11,569 fans to a 4-0 win over Orange County FC. Nishan finished the game with 1 goal and 1 assist, combining with Ochoa, who finished with 2 goals. And that's your look around the league. For USL Network, I'm Morgan Conklin.
Halftime here at Rio Tinto Stadium in Salt Lake City, Utah. The home side, the Real Monarchs, up on the visitors from Reno tonight by a score of 4-1. I'm Bill Riley. Landon Southwick with me here tonight. And just a reminder for you, if you're a fan of the parent club, the senior club in Major League Soccer, Real Salt Lake will be in action here at Rio Tinto Stadium on Saturday night against the Vancouver Whitecaps at 7:30. It'll be the first official game of the Mike Petke era coming up on Saturday night. Petke was the head coach about 10 days ago of this side. The Monarchs had a good record. He was 1-0, Landon, but he got the call up to the senior squad, and so now Coach Briggs doing a terrific job. He got a first win last week, and as things stand right now, unless something goes horribly wrong in the second 45 minutes, they'll be off to a second start. You've seen both games. This is the first time I've seen the Monarchs this year. Compare and contrast them from a year ago for me, and where do you see them markedly better over the first couple of matches?
So the big difference from this team and to last year's team, they're applying a lot of pressure. Looking at the heat map, looking at my Opta stats over here, and the heat map, the average position of Velasquez, Minter on the far side is sitting a lot higher than they ever have before. Last year, you saw a lot of playing out of the back, so Lalo was playing to his center backs. They were building from the back going forward. This year, the pressure is being applied. And, you know, that's resulted in goals tonight. And this is the first time they've ever scored 4 goals. Had 3 goals in games multiple times, and even lost or tied a game, up 3-0 at half. So nothing's set in stone after 45 minutes of soccer, but they're up 4-1 and playing very well.
They are playing very well right now, and I think the couple of additions really stand out to me. One, the addition out wide of Minter and his ability to play that ball from the wide flank on the left side, but it's very obvious of the quality of Sebastian Velasquez and his his ability on the ball to turn and run at goal and create opportunities both for himself and his teammates.
And Adams is the guy sitting right alongside him. There was an article on USLsoccer.com this week talking about those two working together, and I think you're really starting to see that one kind of disappears a little bit, doing the hard work, and one gets to be a little flashier. And tonight you've seen that a little bit more from Velasquez, moving forward and providing quality service all over the place.
In the 18 tonight for the Monarchs, Gallegos, Dunk, Leal, Haber, Hernandez, and Milne. And on the other side, in the 18 tonight for Reno, you've got Ward, Vickers, Caspill, Juan, Brown, and Dane Kelly. And I would probably expect to see Dane Kelly. I know the Monarchs coaches were expecting to see Kelly start tonight. A lot of matches, travel, whatnot, but I would guess unless there's some sort of an injury issue, we'll probably see him in the second 45 minutes, a very experienced player.
25-year-old has scored 48 goals over 6 USL seasons, so he's a guy that's very capable. Their first signing for Reno this year, he's a Jamaican international, or a Jamaican, excuse me, a guy that has speed, and you should be worried and watching out for him at all times.
So that's what we've got as far as substitutes go here in the second half tonight, and we'll see exactly how long and how big the lead gets for this Monarch side, and see how long that Briggs wants to go with these starters and work some guys in. We're here at Rio Tinto Stadium tonight, and we're here with one of the major domos, one of the guys that's helped put this team together. Rob Zarco's kind enough to join us here at halftime. I'll tell you what, I've done a number of games over recent years. Landon's seen a lot of them too. You've seen them too. This is about as good a half of soccer as I can remember your team playing.
I think it's probably the best the Monarchs have ever played. And look, like you said, it's taken some time. We were talking in the room next door. It's like turning a ship. You know, you can't turn like a Ferrari. It takes some time, and it's taken us a couple years to figure out what we need to do, how to integrate the academy, how to do all those things. I think we're kind of figuring it out. I don't want to hang my hat on this result for the entire season, but we're really happy with the team and the coaching staff and everything.
And Rob, a lot of work went into this offseason, a lot of changes. I mean, it really is not a side that many Monarchs fans are used to seeing, or Real Salt Lake fans, out on this field. The starting 11 is really quite new, more veteran leadership applied, and that was credit to you guys and the work you guys did in the offseason, but that was a lot of changes happening.
Yeah, look, it's always a balance of the kids you're bringing in from the academy or bringing up through the system versus USL veterans you're bringing on. And this year it was just when we felt we needed a few more veterans coming in. And look, we started early and often and tried to poach some of the top offensive talent from the other teams, and I think we were successful doing that.
Rob Zarco's with us here at halftime. His club up 4-1. You know, we've talked so much in this market, Salt Lake City, about the upheaval with the senior club and Mike Petke making the move from the Monarchs to the senior club. But there's been an effect on this club too. Now it's a little bit easier transition because you promoted within, and I think the fact that Briggs has some experience at this level, as he did with the Hammerheads, makes that transition easier for him. But how about for the players? I mean, you have one boss. Now the guy you know a little bit is stepping in. Have you sensed anything over the last 10 days or so?
No. It goes to the way Mike coaches, right? His first assistant, who was Mark, was very active in training and doing those sorts of things. So, you know, it was pretty seamless actually. Mike came in after he was offered the job. Mike did talk to the guys, told him about the transition, said this is a good thing for you because you're going to start getting looks up at the first team. So it hasn't really been too bad, and we can see that by the way the guys are playing.
And that goes along with the philosophy that we've seen from this
I don't know
club.
Which way to turn, guys. What do you want me to do here?
Yeah, you're good. We're not on camera, so you're
okay.
all right. You can do a handstand if you want to.
Around.
Doing a little circle up here. But in talking about that, that really gives these players an opportunity all the way from the academy, which will be up here in July, from what I understand, late July. So late summer.
Well, they better be here by August because school starts and the season starts, but yeah.
So that really gives them an opportunity to know that this organization thinks that way. The Monarchs head coach, now the head coach, he's a guy that understands the USL style. Only one game, but really spending a preseason with them, but really giving those players an opportunity to move all the way up.
Right, and look, Mike's been in constant contact with Martini even when he was with the Monarchs, so we've actually built it all the way down. So in preseason, we had a bunch of academy kids come in, train, do a couple of the preseason games with us. You know, we'll fly a few up. It's still a little tough with the distance, but when they come up, you're going to actually see academy guys getting games too, and guys coming down. I think the second half, you're going to see at least 2 first-team players get in. So yeah, like that's the goal, right? I mean, if you're going to put all the resources, infrastructure, and capital into these things, it's got to work up and down, and we're hoping to get that. I don't think we're there yet. I think we're probably a year or so away, but that's the plan.
A lot of people around not just Salt Lake City, but around Major League Soccer and around the USL probably interested in a progress report on Harriman and how the building and the development of the complex out in Harriman's coming right now.
Yeah, so Academy will be out. We should have everything done, the school, the facilities, for them to come in July. First team, second team probably won't move over until December, the off-season coming in for the 18 season, just with all the construction and timing and all that.
So it's on target right now for you guys.
Yeah, on target. On track.
You out there daily with the hard hat on,
no,
cracking the whip?
Not at all. I'm out there like once a month.
I was just telling Landon just a minute ago, one of the bigger on-field difference. There's two guys that really stand out to me, and again, this is my first look at the team this year. But Minter Wide has been, I mean, up that left flank in his first 45 minutes. But you can really see the quality of Sebastian Velasquez and his MLS experience come into. I mean, he's always been a guy that's run at and taken players on, but you know, in his younger days, he was a guy that might not have given that ball up from time to time, and that's the difference between, I think, the Velasquez we saw 3 or 4 years ago and the Sebastian we see today.
Agreed, and I think it helps at this level to have players he trusts on those wings, and I think he does. Minter's interesting. You know, he came in, we signed him. He was with Sacramento, but didn't really get to sniff the field that much. Has come into preseason and has just crushed it and continues to do that. So it's a testament to his hard work. But again, you're right. For Velasquez, it's the trust in the guys he has around him, and I think he has that right now, which is great.
And not just on one wing, but on the opposite side, he has Brody working his tail off up and down that flank.
Right, and then we have Daniel Haber on the bench. I mean, we're pretty stacked in the attack. So, yeah, again, it's a testament to the guys putting the team together, right?
Well, that'll come in handy as the season wears along, because there's a number of games in USL as well. But you usually think about it's tough to crack the senior club, and if you're an attacking young player, it's tough to get minutes there. It may be tough to get minutes down here with these guys, and Briggs might have his hands full in shuffling, which is a good thing. Yeah. And it creates that good competition in training. But, you know, if you thought you were going to walk in here and just get some minutes, you might be sadly mistaken.
Absolutely. And look, it's been a testament to the two coaching staffs, their communication with both the players and each other. I see Mike and Mark meeting almost daily. You know, the conversation today, for example, to tell Seba he's going to sit the second half because we have a first-team player coming in with Jose, you know, that's a management issue. You got to manage the players, but everybody's buying in, and that's what's been great, and everybody's buying into the club mentality. So hopefully it continues.
Well, we've got 45 minutes of soccer remaining here in a 4-goal first half. As Landon was telling us, in the short club history, they haven't gotten 4 goals in 90 minutes.
Right.
So getting 4 here in the first half is a real breakthrough.
Well, I'm greedy. I want like 3 or 4 more, so hopefully we get them.
That will bring more fans at the games.
Hopefully.
If you're putting numbers up like that, people are going to come out and watch goals being scored. You just mentioned it. Jose Hernandez is a halftime substitute here. I'm anxious to get a look at him, too, and see what he can do.
Yep, absolutely.
Hey, thanks for coming by, Rob.
All right, man. Thanks for having me.
It's great to see you. That's Rob Zarkos. You'll hear with him on some of the broadcasts, him with us throughout the season. And if you're out here at Monarchs matches, he'll be wandering around and say hi and let him know what you think. So here we go. We begin the second half with Andrew Brody getting taken down on the edge of the area, and a great spot for a free kick right away here for the Monarchs.
You got to love it. They come right back out into the second half and are going right at goal.
Put this ball down. We'll call it about 19 yards out. Adams, who's been terrific on his service on set pieces tonight, will have a look at this one. And he'll want all 10 yards. He's not going to want 9.5 here. He's going to want all 10 of those to back that 2-man wall up.
And it's about in the same location where Reno had their set piece.
They had a look. Junior Burgos in the first half tried to bend one on that inside near post and missed by a couple of feet. We'll see what Charlie does here.
Adams is left-footed, so look for him to look for that back post and find someone's head.
Big bodies forward. Adams puts that left foot into it on the back post, and Griffiths goes high to defend it right in front of his keeper and out for a corner kick. So we're 60 seconds into the second half and 2 set-piece opportunities here for the Real Monarchs. Griffiths is big, long, lanky, and athletic. You're going to have to do well to get that ball by him. So Adams will put it down here on the near sideline. Charlie got a first half assist when he found Karinga. He's ready to go. Left-footed, driven ball, high back post, picked out of the air by the keeper, Bersano. And he'll outlet quickly up that far side. Reno down 3 goals here. They were down 3-0. Then they pulled one back, and the Monarchs added one late. Stake themselves to a 3-goal advantage here. 47th minute, 4-1. Silva in back, rolls it near side. Griffiths.
Looks like one more change for the Monarchs in the back line on the right side. Reagan Dunk, another player coming down with the first team, has entered this match.
So Jose Hernandez, a halftime substitute, and Reagan Dunk, a super draft pick this year by the senior club, both in here for the Monarchs. Griffiths out of the back, looping ball over the top, taken down by Orozco, and Moberg comes together. He's down. And Pridham limping a little bit too, kind of shaking off that right leg. It's like they just got their feet coming together, and Moberg got the worst part of that.
The interesting thing is the ball didn't make it that far. So, not quite sure on that foul, but
yeah, I was going to say, I don't know that should have been a foul either way, but we got one nonetheless. Burgos will take it 30 yards out. Two-man wall in front. Burgos. Line drive. Couldn't beat the first man. Beasler nods it out far side for a throw in here for Reno.
The one thing you have to watch out for in these next few minutes of this first half, you came out with a lot of energy, the Monarchs, and now they're sitting in a little bit. Watch for Reno to take bigger chances and try to make something happen.
Toward the corner flag and ushered out of bounds by the aforementioned Reagan Dunk. Karinga, who scored in the first 45, is out here at halftime. Reno possession, ushered out of bounds again by the Monarchs. 50th minute, 4-1. UL. They'll say again, touched last by the Monarchs. Into the box it goes. Knocked around the box. Pridham out front, shot, pinballs around. Finally cleared, but not all the way out. Held in by Silva. Monarchs having a little trouble clearing their end right now. Niederhausen sends it in. Top of the box. Pridham. Cleared by Orozco. Center circle. Brody near sideline will run it up. Brody with a lot of blue jerseys in front, cuts it back to the inside. Brody, top of the box, leaves it inside the box. Hoffman and the flag up. I'm not sure Hoffman expected that ball to come back to him, and I kind of didn't either. I thought Brody might have a go when he got around that last defender.
The way he looked to be setting up. The way he looked to be setting up with that touch was that he was going to try to curl one back post, but he really laid it off, and Hoffman was in a position that was offside.
Long ball up the near sideline. Orozco scissors it back and out of bounds right in front of the Reno bench. Throw in for the boys in blue. Ewell trying to find somebody to get it out to. Niederhausen has it now. Near sideline, Colvey. All the way back to Griffiths and across to Silva. 52nd minute, early second half, 4-1. Home side, Monarchs over Reno, and the flag up on Pridham. Not quite the pace just yet we had for much of the first half. A little starch taken out of the sails of this Reno team with those 4 first half goals. Lalo Fernandez waving everybody forward now. High and long, sent the other way by Reno. Silva finds it through the center circle. Good step by Orozco. Monarchs have it. Brody. Lakawecki. Back to Orozco. No pressure. Plays it back to Lakawecki. Touch up the side. Brody. And the keeper. Bersano. Outlets.
If Hoffman continues his run there, he might create a little bit of a sticky situation there for Reno.
Well, I think part of that's the being unpredictable too, right? Sometimes you run, sometimes you don't. Sometimes it's going to be far more a diagonal run than he's used to making. All in an effort to shift the defense, get them on their heels.
And after giving up 4 goals, I think they're quite on their heels so far.
Hoppino. Back and out and wide. Janjigian into the box. Lofted it too far for Pridham. Burgos gives it a chase, keeps it in. Brody there to defend. Don't know that anybody on this Monarchs team has run more distance tonight than what Andrew Brody has done so far. Maybe Landon's OptaJack stats can tell us something a little bit later on. Niederhauser for Silva. 54th minute. Colby back to Griffiths.
Monarchs doing an excellent job of containing. Reno, you can tell they look up, they get the ball, and there's not really anyone on the offensive line open, and so they're trying to play it back, you know, defender to defender. The Monarchs doing a good job containing and pressing to one side.
Silva lofts one forward, has a man there. That man gets around his defender, and that's going to be a foul, and that's going to be a yellow. It's an easy call for the referee. He was around and into the attack. Second yellow tonight shown against the Monarchs. I think Moberg got that one. 55th minute. It's actually a nice ball out of the back by Silva and a better job of rounding the corner by Hoppino. So a free kick for Burgos goes down about 26 yards out. Just to the right of Lalo Fernandez. Spray cans out. The line has been drawn. The line of demarcation.
Magic spray.
17 yards out at the corner of the area.
Shaving cream.
Right-footed service punched out by Fernandez. Colby. In, chested down, played back out, left-footed drive wide, just wide. And a pretty two-man game there for Reno. It's going to go out for a corner as Lalo got a touch to it.
Lalo Fernandez holding his back, landed wrong when trying to go for that ball. He's talking to the ref now.
Ball was chested down top of the 18 and left backwards. Janjigian had a good go with his left. This will be a corner kick. Third of the night for Reno, first of the second half. Right-footed in-swinger. Couldn't beat the first man. Monarchs player Moberg down in the box. He collided with somebody when that ball went back in play. And Briggs is having a conversation down below with a fourth official.
Keep an eye on Lalo. He's there holding his back. Not something you want to see from a keeper in a situation, especially in a game like this where he's going to go long stretches of time without seeing a whole ton of action. It's likely to stiffen up during those periods.
Moberg was gesturing like he got a forearm shiver. Oh, that's exactly what it was. He ran right in to LaGrassa. It's just a hard scream. That's basketball. That's just a hard scream. LaGrassa said it, and he ran right into him.
Rasheed Wallace, DeMarcus Cousins. Someone laying the pick.
Anybody with some size laying it into a guard. Man, oh, man. But the problem is that's not a bad play until you put the forearm up. If you're just standing there, that's a great screen. The minute you put that forearm up, it's a foul, but no whistle was blown. Back to Dunk. 58th minute. Too far for Hoffman and all the way back to Bersano.
You know, I don't mind that ball. While it wasn't connected, it allows the team to kind of spread out a little bit. It changes up the pace.
Ball wide, Colby. Monarchs do a good job in shape getting back. Niederhauser. And Reno building. Burgos. High lofting ball. That's going to be a little bit too much for Opino. And out for a goal kick.
Give credit to Reno. In this second half, they've adjusted their midfield. It may be credited a little bit to a few substitutions from the Monarchs, changing the continuity that they have in the midfield. Jose Hernandez has yet to find himself in this game yet, but Reno started to control a little bit more in the midfield and provide service to their forwards.
Yeah, and one of the things you mentioned earlier, Landon, was that because they're down by a 3-goal deficit, they're going to be willing to take more chances. And you've seen that in that their defensive wings have not been afraid to come up and join that midfield and provide some more support.
That's Carla Haslam. Landon Southwick's in here, and I'm Bill Riley. USL Thursday Night Soccer from Salt Lake City and Rio Tinto Stadium. Home side, Real Monarchs 4 and Reno FC 1. Reno in search of its first win of the season. Monarchs trying to stay perfect here tonight, and they haven't been perfect, but they've been awfully close. Played good soccer. All the way back to Fernandez. Lalo rolls it ahead to Orozco. Orozco in his 3rd season with the Monarchs. He's played just about everywhere here in North America. Played a little bit in Mexico with Tigres. Was a member of Chivas USA for just a second. Went to the NASL. Now he's played in the USL as well, so he's well traveled.
And he's one of those mainstays here for the Monarchs. Been with them all 3 seasons, so he's really the only one that's really has that full 3-season connection with this club.
All the way back.
Which is especially unique in the USL too, just because there's so much movement.
Here's Griffiths. We're an hour in. It's 4-1 Monarchs. Colby back to Griffiths. Griffiths, big diagonal ball, near side to far. Nicely done. Reno, top of the box. LaGrassa has a go. One hops up into the waiting arms of Fernandez. Pretty well struck there by LaGrassa, but Lalo had a good read on it from the jump.
You need something special from that distance. Gives the keeper a lot of time to set up and really just hit it straight down the middle. I know in a wet surface like Rio Tinto, when they wet it down, that can take a nasty hop, but late in the second half like this, not something you expect.
Almost want a ball from that distance to maybe knuckle a little bit to give the keeper something to think about. Here's Hernandez. Playing it back and out wide for Dunk. Hernandez got a look with the senior squad a couple of weeks ago. Now getting some run here with the Monarchs. Lakawecki. Adams. Hernandez won't get there. Silva plays it back and the keeper clears.
You wonder if he was looking for Hoffman there. You saw him turn afterwards wondering why he didn't run.
Lakawecki keeps it in. Brody doubled up on the sideline. Tagged out of bounds off the back heel of Adams. And a throw in right in front of the Monarchs bench for Colby. LaGrassa wide. Left-footed ball played in. Orozco reads it, knocks it out, but not all the way. Reno, top of the box. LaGrassa tries to have a turn and a go, can't get it. Niederhauser, back to Colby. Opino. Into the box. Opino, little shove. And not enough contact to warrant anything there. Lakawecki, maybe a little fortunate. Goal kick coming, Fernandez. Couple of subs coming in here.
Yeah, he has to be careful because if that's anywhere near the goal, you know, I have no doubt that the ref would call that simply because he was able to get that step in front. But you're right, Bill, too far away from the goal, not dangerous enough to define it as a penalty kick.
Weehan in. And he'll put on the captain's armband. Niederhauser out. And Dane Kelly, who we talked about at halftime, USL veteran and goal scorer, will check in.
48.
And Mac Pridham will be out tonight.
48 goals over 6 seasons. He's a guy you have to keep an eye on tonight.
And Kelly getting those legs stretched early, chasing it in back. Grassa plays it forward. Opino. Doubled up, loses it, back out, halfway to Griffiths. Switch back out wide again. Into the box, punched out by Moberg.
The problem with games like this, when you lead 4-1, you become complacent sitting in, and it allows for opportunities. Obviously, a 3-goal deficit is hard to come back from, but sitting in like this becomes a little more dangerous as time goes on.
Halfway, Griffiths. Near sideline, Colby. 64th, all the way back to Griffiths again. Switch across to Silva. Long ball in back. Good turn, but Hopino's going to get there. He'll play it back to Colby. Burgos. Colby. Hopino. Good defending back there by the Monarchs. Charlie Adams now. Knocks it out. Lakawecki forward. Hernandez can't control. Held in by Reno. There's Hernandez. Cheeky little play on the near sideline. Brody. Velasquez. Haven't called Sebastian's name much here in the second half. They'll switch it out wide. Here's Reagan Dunk. Running by his man in back. Dunk around. Plays service in. Well read by Griffiths. Out to Hernandez, but he can't get there. Opino does.
Dunk using those fresh legs to get a 1v1 on the sideline. Covers a lot of ground. Able to get a really good cross in, too.
Yeah, I wasn't sure he was going to get that cross off as the defender closed in on him, but he got it there. Better read by Griffiths in the middle. Here's Burgos. Looping one up the near sideline to Hopino. Back to Colby. Here's Kelly with a turn. Orozco in. Kelly back to his left. Has a go. Big save! Oh, Fernandez big! And what a move by Kelly to get that shot off.
Well, we heard he was good, and now we see it. First time he gets the ball.
I feel like I was preaching it all in the pregame. That guy is very capable of finding the back of the net. He turned Orozco, found space, and put one on frame. It was going upper V.
Well, and that first touch was so quick. Put him right in the position to be able to cut and then get that shot off.
He set him up is what he did. Here's a corner kick in, back post. Griffiths goes high, can't get it. Kelly in, and cleared by the Monarchs. I don't know if the scouting report on Kelly is he's right or left foot dominant, but he sure set Orozco up with the right and brought it back to the left again, and that was a rocket. Burgos will track it down. Keeps it in near sideline. Defender in front. Colby. Back to Burgos. Kelly marked well and back by Moberg. Monarchs break it up. Here comes Brody. Green in front, defender in back. A nice job by Griffiths to get there. Brody's okay, but I think Griffiths is hurt. Griffiths went in hard with the challenge. Are they going to call a foul on Brody? Nope, just a throw. I think Griffiths thought there was a foul, but he went in hard. Brody was there first. A terrific slide and a great tackle, but I think Brody might have just caught a piece of him. We'll take a look at the replay. Ball gets away from Brody.
Yeah, Griffiths is the one that slides in.
And Brody jumped there, so I'm not sure there was much contact at all.
There wasn't any contact. If there's an injury here, it's on the slide. There was no contact with Brody. They were both there. That was a 50-50 ball and well played by both players. And Griffiths got there, but if anything, he might have gotten that foot or ankle caught up in the turf on the slide, but there was nothing there from Brody.
That's what I think's happening, because he's grabbing what looks to be his left ankle, which would be his ankle that he has under, and he cleared it with his right.
Well, what I found interesting, though, was it looked as if he said something to Brody when Brody walked by him, and there was nothing there, as we saw in the replay.
It almost looked like he was mentioning to see if he was all right. Burgos was frustrated, and you could see him show the shape of the ball to Coach Briggs. Not sure what you can say there. Soccer for you.
69th minute, still 4-1 Monarchs. Griffiths walking it off along the near sideline. And now back on the pitch. The fans kind of giving it to him a little bit, but he's limping. Adams cut down by Burgos, and that's going to be a foul against Reno. And Brody coming in to say something now to Burgos, because I think Burgos said something to him before, and all Junior was going to do was help Charlie Adams up.
I think you're seeing the conversation that I saw happen down there. Burgos took exception to what happened there with Brody and Griffiths, and there you're seeing Brody take exception to what just happened there. All is well, though.
Conversation going on between Briggs and the fourth official right now. We'll have another substitute coming on for Reno here momentarily. Brian Brown will be checking in at the next dead ball. First, though, a free kick for Charlie Adams, who has been outstanding tonight on free kicks. High and long across the field, taken down on the far sideline by the Monarchs. Near the corner flag. Hernandez comes for the ball. They play it back out wide instead to Dunk. Left-footed ball to nobody except Hopino. Well, look at Brody trying to get on it. And Brody trying to keep it in. Good effort by Andrew Brody.
You got to love the work rate.
Great hustle.
Brody.
Great hustle.
Well, I admire more the fact that he just never seems to get tired. Runs from one side of the field. You know, going into tackles like that is exhausting as well, being able to put his shoulder in. I mean, all that kind of stuff takes energy, but you look at him and he doesn't seem like he's gassed at all.
And so Brian Brown will check into the match, I think. Brown with a fourth official, and it looks like Brenton Griffiths will come out. Still limping just a little bit. 71st minute.
They may be moving to 3 in the back.
Well, down 3 goals and inside of 20 minutes to play, that if you're coming here to win and play for 3 points, that's probably the direction you want to go. And here's a foul in the middle of the field on LaGrassa.
Game's gotten a little more chippy here in this final 20 minutes, and expect that to continue.
Well, and a lot of people think that that happens in close games, but the reality is sometimes in these games where you're up 3-4, you get that frustration and that anger, you're tired, and it can cause sometimes these unpredictable fouls.
Late challenges. You just don't have the legs you had in the first half, and you come in late and you clatter into somebody.
And you know, you expect that from a lot of teams. Reno's at an altitude where they're not probably phased as much as most teams, maybe some of the Southern California teams, but it's still an altitude difference.
Yeah, and they're expending more energy too, simply because they're on the attack. I mean, both of you mentioned that the Monarchs are going to play far more conservative. They're going to drop it back a lot more, and so they're not going to be using the same amount of energy as Reno.
All headed forward by Nick Beasler. Nick Beasler grew up 5 miles from where I grew up in suburban Kansas City. Blue Valley High School guy. I was an Olathe High School guy.
national champion at Notre Dame. We can't forget that. And I think roommates with Max Lakawecki, if I'm not mistaken.
What's Optajack tell you?
Roommates.
Okay, very good.
Confirmed.
Well, if the stat company tells you, it must be true.
Just call me Opta.
73rd minute, 4-1. Throw in far sideline Monarchs.
You know, if we're going to talk about that for a sec, we might as well mention the possession statistic, 60-40 for Reno. So I hate when fans all
For
the time...
For the match or for the second half?
For the match. So oftentimes people think that equates to winning.
No.
But in a game like this, obviously this second half is skewed it a little bit, but at the half, it was pretty close to 60-40 already.
Well, when I'm not calling soccer matches, I'm calling American football matches with a guy named Frank Dolce, whose least favorite stat of all time is time of possession, which is basically the same equivalent you just gave me. And it's not the time of possession, it's what you do with the possession when you have it. And tonight, while the Monarchs may be down 60-40, they've got 4 goals and they're 40% of possession.
And looking like a side that is excited to play soccer this season and come to play.
74th minute, 4-1. Monarchs on top of Reno. Lalo plays out of the back. LaGrassa in the center circle now for Reno. If this result holds, it will be 3 wins in 3 matches for the home side. Here's Brody. A giveaway by Beasler, and he'll take it right back again. Now Adams. Sometimes our field mics will pick up Briggs down below yelling, "Charlie! Charlie!" Lakawecki. Keeping it himself, rolling it out wide. Hernandez in. Hernandez, top of the box. Shot, big save. Bersano comes up big. Diving to his left. And Reno will counter back the other way. Brown's touch eludes him. Lakawecki back with it. And Velasquez, who looks fresh out there, wins it back for the Monarchs. Orozco center circle to Adams. Adams ahead, Hernandez. Hernandez, long run dunk up the far sideline. Back to Hernandez. The diminutive Hernandez. Very Plata-like in his movements. Ball all the way back, and his size. Beasler wins it in the midfield, and Nick showed his studs just a little bit on that challenge, stomping down, and that's going to be a foul against Beasler and a free kick for Reno. Quarter hour of soccer remains here at Rio Tinto Stadium. We had 5 first-half goals. We have exactly 0 here in the second half, but that's okay by the home side. They're up 3. Beasler wide, Dunk tracks it down, far sideline. Center circle Monarchs. Adams rolls it out wide to Dunk. Back near sideline, Lakawecki. Just making Reno chase right now. And if something breaks, they'll take the opportunity. Near sideline, Brody. Brody Meggs his man. Can't keep possession. Burgos breaks it up. Up the near sideline, Hoppino. He'll make the switch to the middle. They'll let it play through. There's Brown. Kelly wants it. Good step and a break up by Beasler. And then a foul against Reno.
Good work by Beasler, knowing that he doesn't have to win the ball there, just put his shoulder inside, and it allows the ball to be right at his feet. Fouled there, but great defense and just being patient and waiting for the other team to make a mistake.
That's the voice of BYU striker Carla Haslam with us here on the broadcast tonight. Landon Southwick checking his numbers. I'm Bill Riley, and we'll remind fans to make sure you tune into USL's weekly show on Sirius XM. That's Channel 85, Monday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, for the latest news, information, and more around the league. And also, don't forget, Sirius XM will air the USL Game of the Week. Check USLsoccer.com for dates and times. As we enter the 78th minute here at Rio Tinto Stadium, home of Real Salt Lake and these Monarchs, it's 4-1 for the home side. Adams with a flick on, finds Brody. Brody fouled from behind, and Hoppino rolls over the top of him, and he's going to see a yellow card. And the referee must have detected some anger in that roll over the top of Andrew Brody, because he goes into the book here in the 78th.
Yeah, that seemed like a very pedestrian foul. I mean, the location is bad for Reno, but as far as fouls, there's been far worse this match.
Take a look at the replay and see if Hoppino threw. No, I think he just got his feet caught up. I think the referee may have seen his arm swing, and maybe that was it, but there wasn't much there. Adams will have a free kick.
And I think more than anything, he's trying to make sure he maintains control of this match. At this point in the match, 77 minutes in, 78 minutes in, you would expect him to be a little tighter in the calls, especially like we talked about with the game 4-1.
Adams will have a go from distance, and he plants that one in the north end zone, about 8 rows deep. Goal kick coming here. Hey, soccer fans, Nike's an official sponsor of the USL. If you want more information on Nike, maybe you ought to go to NikeSoccer.com. 79th minute, throw in near sideline for the Monarchs, leading 4-1.
Interestingly enough, in 3 games, for the Monarchs to reach 9 points, in 2015 it took 16 games. In 2016 it took 8 games. And tonight, if they take this victory, it will take 3 games.
Well, we've said it. It's been the running theme here tonight. It's a different year. It's a different era. And it's a different feel on the field for this team right now. Much, much different. Hernandez. Lost it. Center circle. Burgos. Long ball wide. Left side. Brown. Not sure if that was a shot or a cross, but Fernandez handles it easily. And outlets, 80th minute.
You can tell Reno's looking to play it to Kelly. They're trying to find him every time they look up. But Orozco's doing a great job of just staying goal side of him.
Here comes Brody up the near sideline, waiting for white jerseys. Brody picks up his head, plays it back. Lakawecki wide to no one. A lot of green out there. I think he thought Hernandez was wide, and he wasn't.
Everybody kind of was licking their chops and moving to the middle of the pitch.
Dane Kelly had an unbelievable touch, run, and strike in his first 90 seconds. I'm not sure he's touched the ball since then. Everything's been on the far side. Kelly's been here on the near side, and they haven't been able to find him. Good step by Dunk. Breaks it up. Monarchs keep possession. Hernandez can't control. Out of bounds. Touch last by Reno. Briggs waiting on another sub down below. Daniel Haber checking in here soon. Rob Zarkos, who joined us at halftime in the early part of the second half, talked about another talented attacking player, and that's what Haber is. And here's a giveaway in the midfield by the Monarchs. Burgos with 2 defenders in front has a go, takes a deflection, and nicely done by Fernandez not to let that go out for a corner. Took an odd spin off the foot. Lalo up with it, outlets to Lakawecki. Colvey holds it in. Hoppino can't get there, knocked out of bounds by Lakawecki, and the night of Chandler Hoffman will be done. Not before he picks up his second goal of the season, so Hoffman will be out here in the 81st. And Daniel Haber will check in here for the final 10 minutes and change. Landon, what will we see in Haber?
Haber's going to play similar to Hoffman. He was a guy that mostly played on the wings, and as a wing-type player, I was interested to see if he would come on for Brody. But look for him to sit up top, do the same role that Hoffman was, playing as a lone striker, but getting a lot of service from the wings.
Here's Brown toward the end line, crossing through. Pretty ball, couldn't get anybody on the end of it. LaGrassa, and Dunk defends. Well, Carla, I know as a striker, you love to start a match and get a lot of minutes in. But, boy, when you come in the position Haber comes in here, you kind of lick your chops a little bit because you're going to be running with fresh legs against defenders and midfielders who have been playing 80 and 82 minutes, and that gives you a chance to maybe get one here late.
No, definitely. And the other thing is, too, is your midfield is going to be looking for you. They've been in the match. They've already been in the rhythm. So it's easy for you. They just play you through balls. Again, like you said, you have those fresh legs. You're able to, take on your players 1v1. And I say last 10 minutes, you're up 4-1. Why not take some chances? Why not take some players on 1v1? At this point, you really don't have anything to lose.
Oh, here's Haber doing just that, challenging the keeper and back. Bersano has to get rid of it. And out of bounds on that far sideline it goes. It'll be a throw in for Reno. And the referee's going to make Reno back that thing up. They took about an extra 12 yards there.
Take what you can get.
You can get 5 or 6, but when you take double digits, they're probably going to make you walk it back. Here's Ewell. Plays the ball forward. Too tall for Brown. Won by Orozco. Kelly says, I'm not going to hang out on the near sideline anymore. I'm going to go where the ball is. So he's just going wherever it's at. 83rd minute, 4-1. Hoppino around 2 defenders, edge of the area. Cross in, sent out by Orozco. And corner kick number 5 coming here for Junior Burgos and Reno FC.
Reno playing a lot deeper now.
Nobody with Hoppino. He'll play it back out to Burgos. Plays it back in again. Header high. Kelly can't get it down and on frame. Cleared out of the area. Held in by Silva. Kelly's in. One-timer. Oh, a rocket into the side of the net. Kelly missed the first time on a beautiful save by Fernandez, but not this time. Dane Kelly finds the net, and it's 4-2 in the 84th.
Amazing. That's the second or third time that he's gotten the ball this match, and it seems that every time he gets it, he does something amazing. Takes a volley right here. Show it, bringing the header, and just takes it with his right foot.
My,
far
oh my.
post.
He slammed that home.
Goodness gracious.
When he hit it perfectly, too. You could tell right on the laces, timed it perfectly.
I don't claim to know more than any coach on any field, but I might want to get Dane Kelly a few more touches. Lakawecki, well defended by Silva down below. 4-2, ball knocked out, touch last by Lakawecki.
That was why we were a little
throw in at the corner flag.
Surprised in the preseason or in the pregame talking to Coach Briggs, finding out that he wasn't starting. He's a guy that, like we've talked about, has shown his skill.
Up the near sideline. Brown will try to get on the end of it. Moberg not taking any chances, just sends it out of bounds. 85th minute, entering the 86th now, 4-2. Burgos. Wide, Ewell into the area. Fernandez backpedals. Kelly again, this time chips it wide. Goal kick, Lalo.
Kelly doing a great job of just getting open on top of the box. As we've been watching him, one of the things I've noticed is he's very good at timing his runs. A lot of players run at the same speed, but Kelly's very good at running slow, and then when the ball's going to enter in, he's able to get that quick burst to get ahead of his defender.
Kelly, top of the D. Well read by the Monarchs. Reno, after that goal, finding just a little burst of energy here late. LaGrassa. Switch near side, Colvey. Center circle, Silva being chased by the fresh legs of Daniel Haber. 87th now, 4-2 Monarchs. Ball driven in. Kelly lets it go. Orozco sends it out. Knotted down by Adams. Long ball, Haber. Here he comes. Fresh legs. Haber on. Haber in. Daniel Haber can't get a shot off. The ball got caught up in Haber's feet. Silva did just enough, and Bersano cleaned it up.
A lot of good soccer going on there. Haber doing a great job of cutting inside of his defender to go to goal, and defense by Silva, excellent. Makes sure not to foul him, but just to get a foot in there, kind of get his rhythm off right before he shoots.
That last short touch is what caught him right there. It gave Silva just enough time to catch up.
You know, Haber's going to look at that and think, I should have shot earlier.
Here's Brown, cutting it back to his right. Brown across, in front, and off the post, headed in by Kelly. It's a brace for Kelly, and we've got a 1-goal game here in the 88th minute. Brown set it all up, his cross off the post, and then Kelly took it down and headed it in. And look out, all of a sudden we've got ourselves a match here in the 88th.
We talked about this at half. You cannot give up when you're up 4-1. In games like this, they're going to risk it for the biscuit. They're going for a point, if nothing else.
And when you have a player like Kelly in there, you have to.
They used all their substitutions, made attack-minded substitutions, and have really shown that here in the last few minutes.
7 goals here tonight. And a match in the 88th minute, one away from tying this thing up, and the dangerous Dane Kelly on the pitch. I'll tell you what, Chris Wehan got robbed by the woodwork. He thought he had a header that went in, and Kelly just cleaned it up. Silva near the corner, Hernandez with him. Silva plays it across to his keeper. Bersano plays it back out again. Now into the 89th we go. Here's Wehan. Center circle, Burgos picks up his head, looks ahead. Brown trickles away from him. He keeps it in at the end line. Back out, USL. Top of the box. Back across Burgos. Somebody better find Dane Kelly. Here's Opino. Plays it back out, Colvey. Chips it back post, too much. Brown chasing it down, can't keep it in.
You're seeing the attack-minded pressure that the Monarchs have applied all game coming back to bite them in these last few minutes. You're seeing Brody and Lakawecki on this left side struggling to get back. Their legs are gone.
Goal kick, Fernandez. If Lalo's learned anything in his years here from Nick Raimondo, it's take your time and maybe take a yellow. Doesn't hurt you at all for your keeper to take a yellow right here. Lalo waves everybody forward. Into the 90th we go, and he plays it long and high up the far side.
That was a nice little stutter step there.
Lakawecki.
And I feel like we're watching a completely different game than we were 15 minutes ago.
Well, it's amazing what the momentum of 1 goal will do for you. Long ball. Here's Haber again. Flag stays down. Daniel Haber with a defender in front. Haber to his right. Leaves it. Top of the box. Now Brody. And the flag up on Andrew Brody. Quick restart here by Reno.
Monarchs need to get back.
I think if our field mics picked it up accurately, 3 minutes is what we may have here, and that's exactly what we'll have. 3 minutes of added time here, and that's plenty of time to find an equalizer for Reno. Out of bounds touch last by the Monarchs. Opino will throw in. Now it's the Monarchs that are beginning to look just a tad tired here and on their heels. Back out Burgos. Junior plays it in. Oh, goodness. 10 rows deep. It looked like he towed that one.
Is Utah looking for a field goal kicker?
Kyle Whittingham's waiting on a return missionary to come back. But, you know, if Junior Burgos has nothing going this summer, Coach Witt might bite him up for tryouts.
It was wide to the right, just if we're going to mention that.
No, kicks like
bad
that.
Snap that time. Bad snap back to him.
No, a kick like that is just common to the last, 3 minutes of a game. At this point, people are tired. You're not going to get your head down to shoot a goal as you were, the first 10 minutes of the match.
Boy, all the possession that the Monarchs were seemingly able to have and make this Reno team chase has kind of gone away, and now Reno's feeling it. Silva going to play it out of the back here. Into our second of 3 added. There's a needless giveaway. Hernandez has got it. Jose. Centrally.
This is when you expect your veterans to help kill off a game like this.
Well, just use time management. I mean, they should be going to the corner flag right now. They should be kicking out of bounds.
Dunk for Hernandez. Hernandez's touch eludes him. Comes right back out again. Velasquez. Sebastian in. Velasquez. Hernandez. Ball trickles in. It's a goal. And there's the dagger for the Monarchs. Hernandez and Velasquez hugging down below. And the keeper, Bersano, could do nothing about it. It got by him and just rolled in slow motion into the back of the net. And it's 5-3 as we enter the dying moments of the match.
And that's probably going to be the nail in the coffin to put this one to sleep.
You know, what was so exciting about that is that's just a goal of persistence. That's just hard work. The last minutes of the game, you're so exhausted. Your lungs are burning. Your legs are sore. And the fact that you just can keep fighting until you can get that last ball just to slowly roll into the back of the net.
I think it just takes a deflection there off the right leg of Hernandez into the back of the net. He'll take it.
Yeah.
They all count just the same, whether it's a laser or a rocket or whatever you have. It's all the same. Dying seconds of the match here.
Well, and for the viewer, it's exciting. 8 goals in a match. Definitely makes for a good game. It may be the USL game of the week.
Tell you what, folks that have come out to Rio Tinto Stadium tonight have gotten their money's worth.
8 goals.
Fernandez will just take a couple of bounces here. Referee will check his watch. We won't have much more left. You will. Give away to Haber. And they'll whistle a late foul on the Monarchs. Change of coaches, no problem for the Monarchs. Mike Petke 1-0. Mark Briggs 2-0, and that's that. There's your whistle. Full time at Rio Tinto Stadium tonight, and the home side put 5 on the board, including a late dagger. And they beat the visitors from Reno tonight by a final score of 5-3. Man of the match, anyone? Anyone? Yeah, a lot of choices here tonight. Man of the match. What do we have, Carla Haslam?
Velasquez out there. I mean, Sebastian Velasquez, not only was he great at getting the ball, but just creating opportunities in the attacking third. I mean, so dangerous and had so much energy out there.
I think you could pick a handful of guys in situations like that. You love to see a game, obviously not 3 on the other side. You never want to give up 3, but to see 5 goals on your side, you can't hate on that.
Well, we'll let Carla have her way tonight. It's always good to defer to the lady in the booth. We'll give the game ball tonight, and the man of the match to Sebastian Velasquez. A good effort here tonight, and a good effort by the Monarchs overall, and a terrific start to this season. Now at 3-0, they'll have the weekend off and back in action next week.
You know, 2 games on the road coming up for them before they come back to Rio Tinto Stadium in late April. So they've got a challenge in front of them. They're going to go play in Colorado and Seattle, 2 places that are tough to play and great teams.
Good night for the home side tonight here in Salt Lake City. The Monarchs win it by a final score of 5-3. For Landon Southwick, call him Optajack. And for Carla Haslam, I'm Bill Riley. Enjoy your evening. We'll talk to you soon from here at Rio Tinto Stadium, where the Monarchs win it tonight 5-3. Good night.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League may not be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the express written consent from the United Soccer League.